Hello, Cherie Hanson here. I was thinking today as I am watching all of these things coming out in the news about that which we must not speak of. And what I mean by that is we are taught when we're very young to keep the secrets of our family. I guess the one that really struck me quite a bit was there was a student I had whose father lived in the basement, and he was so drunk all the time that they had to lock him down there. Now, he was trained by his mother and the relatives to not speak of it. Because if you speak of it, we will be shamed. And so we get enthralled by our family system. There are things we must never talk about. And I learned this very early on because my mother had what was called the velvet glove. The beautiful clasping of my hand. But if I said or did something which was considered to be shameful, she would dig her fingers into my arm. But of course, not enough so that it could be seen. The control that we have put on us by our family, by our schools, by our society, means that we have no tools to protect ourselves. We are taught to go along to get along. I saw so much institutionalized cruelty in my elementary school. I saw that the students who had richer parents got more privileges. I saw that the athletic boys in the football team or the basketball team were allowed to do whatever they wanted to do with impunity. But we must not point this out. And so what we do is we go along and we come to a place where we absolutely remove the experiences from our own lives. It isn't cruel to haze a new football player because that's what we do. It isn't cruel for the popular girls to follow and catcall out to a girl who has a lower income and isn't dressed appropriately, because that's what we do. And so we have the seed planted of cruelty. We have the seed planted of treating others in an inhumane way. And it's called normal. So where are we now? We are in a place where people are denying this massive underground growth, this deformity of childhood, the deformity of sexuality that has spread beneath the surface in our society. And we are in a place where we have to not know it, because we've been taught all our days that there are things you never talk about in your family. Uncle George is a drunk. Dad drives with gin between his knees in the car. Mother is having an affair. All of these things are what I call a unifying shame. You're in a clan, you're in a tribe, you're in a very tightly formed group, and your job is to protect the shame. You must never talk about it. And the thing that happens with shame and the thing that happens with cruelty is it doesn't go away. It grows. It grows bigger and stronger, and it spreads. And so, there you are. You have movies that are teaching us what sex looks like. Is this love? You know, the twisting, the forcing, the power play. We have media that shows us that if you're a woman, if you're showing your body off with very little clothing, that means you're powerful. That's what's happened with women. Is she powerful? Is she walking around with 3 tiny handkerchiefs on her body? Yes, that's a powerful woman, because we're getting our power indirectly from men. We turn our desirability into currency. How desirable are you? Well, that's how much you're worth. And it's a bankrupt culture. Absolutely bankrupt. There is nothing true about the values that we adhere to. Now, I think of in a family, one of the things that I learned through my endless years of counseling was that if you have never seen a mother and a father have an argument, work their way through it, and come to some kind of a compromise and a reset, you won't understand how to do it. It's foreign to you. It's as foreign as if you were in a tribe that's supposed to pull your lip out and make it great big and have the big piece of clay in there. You know, it's like, what is that? I don't know. Well, if you've seen a man and a woman who love one another, negotiate, listen, and heal the problem, then you know it can be done. And that's where we are in our culture right now. Many, many people I know who are very good people are saying, I can't hear this. I can't see this. I can't know this. It makes me sick. It's too much for me. And I will tell you from my own experience, growing up in the 50s, when I was having my bones broken and when I was being attacked in my household and my mother was screaming, the neighbors could hear. But nothing was done because we're keeping the myth of happy families alive. We're keeping the myth that middle-class people take care of their children. Nothing bad ever happens to their children. And so what you're having right now is you're having the dream state punctured. Your happy balloon that children are taken care of, that children are respected, that children are given rights over their own bodies or their own choices. It isn't true. Not in this culture. It's not true. Children become an extension of the parent's ego. If I am seen as a good parent, if my child does well in school, then no one will know that I was abused as a child. This will be the cover. This will be the costume of normal that I can wear out into the culture. Now is the time for us to toughen up. Now is the time for us to say, I want to know what is going on. Because how else are we going to intercede and stop it from happening? People say it makes me sick. Well, it makes you sick. It makes the children sick. It makes the culture sick because it's sick. We need to gird our loins. We need to put on our emotional armor. We need to know, because that's the only way that we're going to get in there and stop giving people who have money and power and some kind of anointed halo energy so that they are never considered to be guilty. We need to stop them, because this is what is happening. It isn't just this one child that is now very damaged. They carry that through all the generations after them. It is a curse on the country. It is a curse on the future when children are not taken care of. It's not a small thing. Now, what I do, because I don't want to get into a place where I am triggering myself. If I trigger myself, I'm not powerful. I don't want to get into a freaked out state. I want to get into I'm a very practiced person in political action. So what do? I post. I put it up. I let people go and look at it, and I ask them to share. Because our responsibility, let's just make it smaller. I lived in row houses when I was younger, and a woman down the street used to run out chasing her daughter with a knife. Now, what I was told in my family is that's none of our business. And I look at it now and I'm thinking, that's why I never tried to tell somebody what was going on to me, because I knew nobody would think it was their business. There was no one there to protect me. There was no one there to intercede for me. But now we are more and more aware that it's our responsibility to intercede. It's our responsibility to bear witness. The woman, if she lived down the street from me now, I would be phoning the police every time she ran out into her yard chasing her 6-year-old daughter with a knife. I wouldn't sit still for it. I would not also say, oh, it's too much for me to know. It's horrible. I mean, that woman may kill her child. I can't endure that. I'm not emotionally strong enough to know this. So this is how we get manipulated. We can't do anything. It's too overwhelming. I don't believe it's true. These are all escape clauses for responsibility of taking care of the unprotected and the young. We need to do that. We need to say bullshit to playing nice, to going along, to turning a blind eye. And we need to find a way to speak out for these horribly deformed, and I mean this, deformed in their thoughts, deformed in their ability to connect with other people, deformed in their relationships for the rest of their lives. We need to protect them. And I'll tell you right now, I would have given anything if one of my teachers had noticed that I was home from school for 3 months because of the bruising. No one asked. No one tried to help me. Are we really going to continue to live like this? Or are you willing to be a witness? And I don't mean get angry. Anger is fine for short term. I'm talking about making a commitment. Making a commitment going forward that you will sign petitions, that you will share information, that you will do what you can to protect the children in a way that is not feeling burdensome to you. You will build that strength. Let's build that strength together. It isn't too much. It's only what is needed. Know about it. Speak about it. Protect the children. Please subscribe to my videos. I really appreciate it when you do that. I want to get messages out to people so I can help them. This is my path, and my path is to help people to find a way to live that is calm and secure and very, very optimistic, and most of all, compassionate. It is your business. It's up to all of us to protect the children. I want to say to you, thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate you.